Hey everybody, welcome back to another Deck Profile Friday. Got a really cool one for you today as I'm going to be talking about a format that is not too popular amongst old school players. And in fact, it was one of the, it was a format that was actually only held for one major tournament, I believe. And the reason why they changed it to this format was because the game was just moving incredibly fast. Had players, decking out, being able to play trainers, multiple trainers per turn, right, with no drawback. It wasn't uncommon to go through maybe 30 cards in your deck a turn, right? And it was just moving way too fast. So what Wizards of the Coast did, they wanted to slow it down, right? And one of the ways that they did that was they limited the trainer cards to only having 15 per deck. And then an additional rule that they made was you're only allowed to have a max of 3 of any card, excluding basic energy. This created a format which was called Prop 15-3. And like I mentioned, the reason why they did it was they wanted to slow it down. But actually by doing that, a lot of players just got creative and built decks, with Pokemon that had the abilities of certain trainer cards, like for example, Dodrio from Jungle, right? 2 less retreat. I think it's 2 less retreat, or it might be free retreat, can't remember. But, a lot of people opted to play that, and then that way they wouldn't need to play Switch in their deck, right? Just little things like that. So, another actually really good thing about the format was that it allowed Pokemon that would not be really good, right, to actually be playable in this format. So things like Venusaur, base set Venusaur, right, with Energy Trans and Pokemon Center, the Venus Center deck, right, that would actually be a viable deck in this format because it was slow, right? It was slow enough to where it could actually stand through it all, right? But when if you're playing like the regular based gym, it'll just get annihilated with no restrictions because it's too slow, right? So doing this created a very diverse format, and I'm actually going to talk about one of the decks that I thought was actually really cool, and it's perhaps one of the first ever spread decks ever created in the Pokemon TCG. And I'm talking about Brock's Golbat with Gengar Fossil, right? This was actually a really cool deck because the whole object of the deck is to bring something with high retreat up. And then from there, right, what you would do is you would just spread damage. And that was, really cool. And you could also, one of the other really neat strategies with the deck would be to move the damage counters to where you needed them, right? Which is what Gengar's ability does, Poke Power. So we're going to get into it here, right? I apologize for the quality if you can't see, as it's currently, early morning here, and it's still kind of dark, but let's see. And so we have a 3, yes, those are 2 proxies there, as I don't have the other 2. 3 Brock's Golbat, 3 Zubat. So Brock's Golbat here is the main card of the deck, right? 70 HP, which is really cool. 1 retreat, resistance to fighting, and weakness to psychic, which is pretty much average there, right? Bite, which is a neat, really cool attack, does 20 damage for your colorless, and then Spiral Dive does 10 damage to all your opponent's Pokemon, right? Which is absolutely awesome, right? That's a potential 60 damage for 3 energy. It's also powered up by double colorless energy, which is really cool. And then Brock's Zubat here. So this is a really cool one here. I like this one a lot better. This is the rare one. Just because of the alert attack, draw a card, and then you may switch Brock's. No, it's, pardon me, not in May. You have to switch Zubat with one of your bench, right? And then it says you can't use this if your bench is empty. All right, and then obviously Wing Attack there for 20. Weakness to Psychic again, resistance to Fighting, and then 0 retreat cost, which makes it an absolute awesome starter. Pretty cool. The next main Pokemon, like I said earlier, is our Gengar, which we play 3. We also play 3 Haunter and 3 Ghastly. Right, so the Ghastly here is really cool. This is the better one, right? You got 50 HP there. Lick, which is a really good attack. 10 damage, possible paralyze. And then energy conversion, which is okay. No weakness, resistance to fighting, and no retreat cost, which is another awesome thing about it. You got a Haunter here. Right, so with Haunter, 50 HP. The transparency power there. I believe it's got like some sort of crazy ability where it's like prevents damage, right? Done to it. Nightmare is a really awesome attack too. 10 and auto sleep. And then the same weakness, resistance, and retreat as Ghastly. And then Gengar here. Another really cool card. Curse, you can move a damage counter. Dark Mind, 30 and 10 snipe. 80 HP, which is really good. No weakness. 1 retreat, which is good. And a resistance to fighting again. So, really awesome card. Then we play 3 Brock's Mankey. Right? So, another really awesome card here. It's mainly there for taunt, which allows you to bring up something from your opponent's bench to their active. And typically what you'd want to do is you want to bring up something that is high retreat. And then that way you can just kind of lock it into place. And then retreat cost is nothing, resistance is nothing, and then weakness to psychic again. So another really good free retreater. And then, lastly, we do play a few stall cards. We got 2 Lickitung. So Lickitung here is really good. Tongue Wrap is another really awesome attack. 90 HP. Weakness to fighting, so you got to be careful of the Hitmonchans in this format. Right? And actually, speaking of the weaknesses earlier, with the Golbat, just be careful of Mewtwo. Right, the movie promo Mewtwo. Resistance to Psychic, which is a great counter. So this actually helps out Brock's Golbat there. And then 3 retreat, which is not so great. So 2 Mr. Mime, and then lastly a Kangaskhan. So Mr. Mime is really cool with its invisible wall there. Right, you can, it prevents damage, or prevents the damage that's 30 or more. So you have to do 20s to it to knock it out. Pretty cool. And then lastly, Kangaskhan, our nice one of beater here, right? Just a monster of a Pokemon. Another draw card, right? And then Comet Punch for a max possible 80. And then, like I said, everything else, fighting, psychic, and 3 retreat. So that is the Pokemon in the deck. And now the trainers. We play a Rockets training gym. So this is a really cool one here. each player pays a colorless more to retreat his or her active Pokemon. So, this is a great card because it combos well with Taunt and Gust of Wind. Right? So, if you, like I said, if you can lock something into the active, you just spread until your opponent can't really do anything. Okay. Then we play 3 Pokemon Trader, or as I like to say, Pokemon Communication. You can swap a Pokemon from your hand with another one in your deck. Really cool. 3 Professor Oak, the best draw card in the game. Discard, draw 7. They've been using that text on a lot of cards for a long time. 3 Super Energy Removal. It's another really beast of a card. Discard an energy card attached to one of your Pokemon to discard 2 of your opponent's energies. But they must be on the same Pokemon, which is really cool. 2 Computer Search here. Right? You can discard any 2 cards in your hand to search your deck for any card, right? So, really good card. A single energy removal, right? A neat little tech here, which is really good. A Gust of Wind to bring up something of your opponents that you don't like and that you want to lock active. And lastly, an item finder here to get back a trainer card in the discard pile. So that's really good, right? And that's the whole, like I said, the whole idea is to bring something active that has high retreat on your opponent's side of the field. And then you can keep them at bay with energy removals and stuff like that, right? And yeah, that's pretty much the whole point of the deck. And then lastly, the energies. So this format, you actually played a lot more energy because what else are you really going to play? You're going to play Pokemon or you're going to play energy, right? And we actually have enough Pokemon, so we need to make sure that we have the energy. So we got 5, 10, 14 Psychic, right? Because it's for the Gengar. 3 double colorless energy as it powers up the Kangaskhan and the Brock's Golbat a lot faster. 2 potion energy, right, to heal. And then lastly here, 3 potion energy. And then lastly, we have 2 full heal energy to heal all special conditions. And that is the deck. So that is Prop 15-3. This is one of the, I guess not really the best decks, but it's a really interesting deck. It's a really cool deck if you like spread. And yeah, it's actually the deck that I had the most cards for, which is really cool. So, but yeah, that's the deck. Feel free to give the deck a try, give the format a try if you're looking to play old school. It's not something that I typically get to play or really have a whole lot of experience playing. I figured, what the heck, let's build something that's can do decently well in an old format. And big thank you to Jason Klaczynski's blog, as it showed the deck there. And I actually really liked it, but I just wanted to have a few things tacked in. So, but yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, so give it a try and let me know what you think, how it worked out for you, and if you're finding any value coming from this video, right, or any of my videos, maybe consider liking them and possibly subscribing to the channel. Like I said, I'm trying to add value and get more people to play the game, whether it's past formats or the current Sword and Shield on format, and just have a lot of fun, right? As that's the reason why that we play. We play to have fun and to meet really awesome people. So it's the community that that makes the game, right? And yeah, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and see you in the next video.